And then so some of the arguments put forth by these more anti-porn groups, there's a couple of them. And one is porn isn't good for you, especially when you're growing up. It's addictive, and that it's not good for the people performing in it. So what are your opinions on those three topics?
The three. So in the first case, that's kids. The problem with children is the only way to actually know what the impact of pornography is on children would be to randomly assign children to view pornography. That is illegal. We do not do that. And so ultimately, neither side has a good argument in that case. We don't really know what the ultimate impact is on kids. I think that's an argument, though, to, reduce their interest in viewing just because we don't know. So there's a risk potential there. When you get to adults and potential negative impacts, there's no doubt that some adults are clearly coming into our practices and saying, I'm having problems around pornography. But the question is, what is the nature of that problem? And the strongest predictor of somebody identifying themselves as a porn addict is having a conservative or religious upbringing. So what that suggests is, that doesn't happen with people who have gambling problems so much. It doesn't happen with people who are struggling with heroin use. This is really kind of a unique issue where the problem seems strongly driven by kind of moral imperatives. So when you have groups that are promoting this idea, they're actually causing harm because they're increasing that false message that it's inherently harmful for you, thereby causing people to think, just by viewing, I've hurt my brain. And that's clearly not the case. So for example, on average, people report in a nationally representative sample, men start viewing porn around, or first viewed porn around age 14, women at 17 and a half. So it's not these incredibly young ages that you sometimes hear thrown around, but they're still fairly young. And those also tend to be around the times of sexual debut. So, I don't know that it's the pornography are really reflecting kind of a shift in their sexual activity. And then in general, 94% of men and around 87% of women say that they viewed pornography in their lifetime. So with that many people viewing, obviously they vary in how regular they view, and we have a lot more we could characterize about that. It's a very tiny percentage that are saying, I struggle. And specifically, if you look at, again, a nationally representative sample, it's around 2% of men and 0.5% of women who say, I've had a negative impact, any negative impact of pornography. So, that representing, what's the actual impact? What's the level of problem in the adult population? I think seems relatively small. And those who are identifying seem largely influenced by their conservative or religious upbringing.